watching the station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News
Maddening,
Now.
honestly. It is chronic in our society.
Skipped it. The latest we've learned after 5 young men were hurt in Prince George's County. And the new video showing the massive gathering of young people before they ran for cover.
Southwest 2937, stop.
Runway reaction. One passenger recounts that near miss at Reagan National, the frantic call to prevent 2 planes from crashing. That Flyers story tonight.
And we have clear skies and a chilly night ahead of us across the region. Will it last, though? I'll talk about the temperatures for your Sunday, what to expect for cloud coverage, and your full 7-day forecast right around the corner.
Also had baby fever for the playoffs. How the Capitals, newborns, and their mothers are getting ready for postseason play. The adorable images right ahead. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us for DC News Now at 9 o'clock this Saturday evening. I'm Ben Dennis. We're heading straight to news out of Montgomery County, where a building fire is displacing residents. County Fire and Rescue reported that fire around 6:40 tonight. Officials say it happened on 327 King Farm Boulevard in Rockville. That's a 5-story residential building on your screen. Fire and Rescue say that the fire happened on the 5th floor. They say 5 apartments are facing water damage. In Virginia, Prince William County police are reporting a sexual assault in Manassas. They say it happened between late last night and early this morning. A 35-year-old woman walking in the area of Fairmont Avenue and Anvil Drive. She was grabbed by a man. They say during that encounter, he forced her into a wooded area where she was sexually assaulted. Anybody with information is asked to call police. Back here in the district, DC police are on the lookout for this red sedan. The 4-door Honda is believed to be connected to a shooting today that hurt 2 men. They say it happened in the 4600 block of MLK Jr. Avenue Southwest, not far from Ballou High School. Police say both men are conscious and breathing. Anyone with information, call authorities. And the search continues tonight for the person who shot and wounded 5 people at a Prince George's County park. 3 of those victims have now been released from the hospital. DC News Now's Dave Laval has a reaction from neighbors 1 day after those shootings.
The pavilion where the shootings took place remains closed to the public as neighbors are still reeling from what happened here Friday afternoon.
I think it's really sad.
Juanita Driver reflects on the mass shooting that hurt 5 people at Schramm Hills Park. Video posted on social media shows just how large a turnout there was at the park just before the gunman opened fire. Greenbelt police believe the students came from several high schools, including Eleanor Roosevelt High and Bowie High.
It's very alarming that it's just like happening so frequently and just like in the community that like even like my 4-year-old goes to school in and like during the day. All
of the wounded are said to be between 16 and 18 years old. Police told us they didn't know about the gathering, as a similar one took place last year with no issues. That does little to ease the concerns of neighbors, like Pastor Jimmy Munoz.
Being in school, that's what needs to be celebrated. And yes, it's good to have fun, but you see it's not safe.
The mass shooting is just the latest high-profile violence at the park. 3rd-grade French teacher Madame Silla vanished here last July after she went for a walk. Investigators found her body a month later in Clinton.
To think that this space doesn't feel safe anymore. With all these incidents, the neighborhood doesn't feel safe, and I'm thinking like, what is happening to our neighborhoods? What is happening to our kids? What is happening to our teens that is causing them to not have a space where they can be safe anymore?
Police are still looking for the shooter. They say took off along Hanover Parkway. You're asked to call Greenbelt Police if you have any information. In Greenbelt, Dave Laval, DC News Now.
Our thanks to Dave tonight. Developing from the House of Representatives, tens of billions of taxpayer dollars have been approved to go to Ukraine and Israel after significant infighting among Republicans to send money to our allies fighting their wars. They also made another major step to potentially ban TikTok. The House approved $95 billion for allies, including Taiwan, also approving a measure to clamp down on TikTok, now giving their parent company 9 months to sell or be banned in the States. Suddenly, President Biden has said he would sign. This package now goes over to the Senate. Speaker Mike Johnson on today's quickly passed vote.
I know there are critics of the legislation. I understand that. It is not a perfect piece of legislation. We're not ensured that in a time of divided government and in a time where there are lots of different opinions. But there's no question.
And here at home, our elected leaders are responding. Virginia Republican Congressman Rob Whitman says in part these critical security bills will provide our pro-democracy and freedom-loving allies and partners with the resources they need to defend themselves. Over in the Senate, Democratic Virginia Senator Mark Warner says he's looking forward to taking up the package, saying this is an important step towards standing with the Ukrainian people and keeping our word to our NATO allies. Time is 9:06, and also keeping our word to you with that forecast now with Scott Sumner. Hey, you could not have asked for a better day, Scott, and I'm sorry you couldn't get in a couple holes on the green today.
Well, yeah, that's down the road for sure. But yeah, beautiful afternoon, late afternoon, lots of sunshine, the clouds cleared away. Now we're back with clouds. We have 64 degrees outside. That's a nice part of the forecast. And we'll see those 60s slide through the 50s, eventually getting down into the lower and the middle 40s, stopping there in the district and then turning the corner and heading towards 50 degrees around mid-morning on your Sunday. Satellite view shows again clouds clearing, but then coming back as a storm system down to the south. Well, that's starting to bring some of those clouds back up in our general direction. Speaking of golf, hey, you want to go out tomorrow? It should be fine here in the district, the surrounding areas. It should be mostly cloudy or partly cloudy at times. Most areas will remain dry and temperatures will get up to around 60 degrees. So not the perfect day for golf, but still okay. Certainly doable. Chilly night for some. Sprinkles in southern Maryland on Sunday. We'll get into that and why. Comfy temperatures this week and a couple of rain chances. That's all coming up with my 7-day forecast.
Plenty to cover, Scott. Thank you. Montgomery County Police say that one man is dead after being hit by a bus in Silver Spring. They say that it happened early this morning around 1:55 at the intersection of 2nd Avenue and Colesville Road. The man was pronounced dead on scene. We're told that the ride-on bus did leave after that collision. Federal investigators are looking into why two planes nearly collided on the runway at Reagan National. Well, now we're hearing from one passenger on one of those planes. Northern Virginia reporter Max Marcilla spoke with that woman and her experience.
It was pretty apparent right away that something had happened and something was wrong.
Teresa Hoffman's trip from D.C. to Boston took an unexpected delay when her JetBlue flight stopped before it could take off.
Stop. Stop. Southwest 2937, stop.
After a frantic air traffic controller tried to prevent her plane and a taxiing Southwest plane from colliding.
I definitely didn't feel terrifying in the moment, but then afterwards when I was telling people about it, everyone, the way that they're like, oh, I'm so glad that you were safe.
FAA data shows runway incursions trending slightly downward. There were more than 1,700 incursions across the country each of the last 2 years. We're on pace for more than 1,600 this fiscal year.
When you look at something like this, what you have to double check to make sure there was no miscommunication at that point.
The near crash has also reignited the debate over whether Congress should allow more flights at Reagan National.
The incident yesterday was a big warning light flashing red, telling Congress not to take steps that would weaken the safety of this airport.
Virginia senators speaking on the Senate floor saying the airport is already overcrowded, but lobbyist group Capital Access Alliance says these incidents happen at any airport and shouldn't deter a plan to add flights.
These same Virginia senators have called for expanding more flights at Dulles, and that's even after they had a very similar incident at Dulles.
And Hoffman also says that the crew on her flight was doing a good job keeping passengers updated. That flight to Boston ended up being delayed nearly 6 hours. So thanks to Max for that story. Turning now to Baltimore, where the cleanup of the Francis Scott Key Bridge continues. Officials say that they have opened a third temporary alternate channel to get in and out of the very busy port. It's called the Fort Carroll Temporary Channel. It's on the northeast side of the main channel. Comes as officials also say that salvage crews at the site are turning their focus to the thousands of tons of debris sitting on top of the cargo ship. Once that's gone, crews can then guide the ship back into the port of Baltimore.
We are going to clear this channel. We are going to support everyone who's been affected by this crisis, and we are going to rebuild the Francis Scott Key Bridge.
And crews have taken off nearly all those containers on the ship, removing 120. The goal to remove 20 more to get access to the road that's still on the ship's bow. Washington Capitals welcoming their newest fans with some gear. Check this out. Cute indeed. The Caps are welcoming newborns in D.C. with Caps playoff gear in partnership with MedStar Health to honor their trip to the 2024 Stanley Cup playoffs. All babies born at MedStar Georgetown or MedStar Washington Hospital Center during the Caps postseason run will receive a gift bag from the Caps for their playoff series. And today, people flocking to D.C. to get a chance to see the Red Bull Formula One showcase in the district on Pennsylvania Avenue. Our Tiger Munn got a chance to soak in all the excitement.
Well, as you can see behind me, today was day 2 of the Formula One festivities as the Red Bull Show One was underway for the first time right here in the district. The event featured some of the best from Oracle Red Bull Racing, including F1 legend David Coulthard. The cars were due to run at 4 p.m., but fans were flooded in at 1:30 p.m. and immediately felt the energy.
I'm really excited, man. This is crazy. My brother's really jealous right now. It's great.
Article about it. It's beautiful down here. I mean, the people, the buildings, it's spectacular.
Parts of Pennsylvania Avenue was closed off and turned into a runway for the loud, proud, and powerful V8 engines that roar across the Capitol. Fans talked about that feeling when the rubber starts to burn in anticipation.
Oh my God, that feeling would be so exciting. It would feel so exciting. My heart would start racing because I can't believe I'm seeing the car run with my actual eyes. It would be so exciting, like the best thing that happened to me.
I don't know if I think these are V8 engines, and I hear the noise is just extremely loud. A noise you never hear except for these cars, and I really want to experience it. I want to feel it also, so that's why I'm here.
And again, this was the first year for the show run to be featured right here in the district, but after today's turnout, do not be surprised to see them here again. Reporting in Capitol Hill, I'm Tiger Munn, DC News Now.